Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are going to work on removing the doors. I ordered the front nose and the front valance that goes behind the nose. So I've got to get the bolts out, the pin out, and then finish getting the rest of the nose off of it. I can't get into behind the door here. So we are going to take this off, finish cleaning up the nose. I bought a spot weld cutter to take off the, I guess around the fresh air box. So I need to pop some of these spot welds out, finish cleaning all of this up. The rust converter seemed to do decent. I might put a little bit more on there, I'm not sure. I've got to clean this lip up, get some metal welded into these sections. I don't know if it's necessary. Actually it might be, because the nose, the windshield channel, I guess, mounts to that. So I need to clean that up. The junkyard wanted way too much for a couple body parts, so I did not end up getting anything from there. He said it would have been better off to buy the whole bus than to cut it up. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So let me get a couple things. We will clean up some of this metal and get it ready for the nose. I've also got to weld the really bad cut job that I did here. You can see where I went way too deep. Instead of just hitting the skin, I went all the way through. Luckily I caught it. And I went pretty much all the way except for maybe right here. So got a little bit of welding to do on there. After that is cleaned up, I'll probably hit it with the wire wheel again just to knock off some of the heavier rust, and then clean it up as best I can to get ready for primer. Damn. That was on there tight. All right, second door is off. I think the only thing holding the skin on are these little spot welds. So I'm gonna try cutting those. I don't know if there's anything else holding it. I might just take the little flapper disc and just cut this edge off so that way I can just peel it back. I really did a lot of damage. I cut way more than I needed to. So I've got to figure out how I can fix that. Because this is the outer skin. So I didn't mess it up too bad right here. I'll probably just break this off. Okay, so I just need to weld this up a little bit. I can probably fix this section here after I put the nose on, so that's not too bad. Yeah, it looks like the only thing are those spot welds, because that's almost breaking now if I had a bigger screwdriver. Yep, so I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the flap disc on, just grind away this edge. That way I can just peel it back. I think that'll be a whole lot easier than getting the cutting disc in here to cut those welds away. So that worked out pretty good, actually. As I went down, it just started popping off. Need to... So I am gonna have to cut that weld, probably this one, and probably that one. Well, that came out. Got to get a little bit of a spot weld left over there. Just clean it up a little bit for when I just crimped the nose around this section. I really did mutilate this really bad. I'll probably put a bead of weld. I don't know if it needs it, but it wasn't like that to begin with, so may as well. I'm not going to mess with this until I get the nose. I don't know how far it goes up. I also don't know how this is incorporated into the nose. If it just folds around, I don't know. So I'm going to leave that alone for now. Same with the bottom. I don't know how any of that connects to the nose yet. I do need to pop this front valance off. I am unsure of how that valance is actually, because it looks like right through here is a lip. So it looks like this is all one piece and it maybe connects to a bottom piece. I'm not sure. If so, I've got to figure out what that bottom piece is because it's gone on this side. I'm hoping that that valance is all of this, but I'm really thinking it's just this outer section here. So I might cut that away next. Because all of that back there is just so rotted out. This side, not so bad. This side over here just got trashed. I'm not sure what caused this side to rust out so much worse. So yeah, let's do that. Actually I might start up at the top first. Let's get that out of the way. I really want to use that new spot weld cutter. The really cheap ones off Amazon. Let's see how many of them break. So Looks like there's quite a few all throughout there. So let's see how bad we can mess this up. So I did a couple tests just to get an idea of how this works. Definitely not like that though. Yeah. This is gonna be very fun. I hate spot welds. They suck. They're not fun. Don't know how else I'm going to do this. Yeah, that seems to be working. Well, just got approximately 765 more of those to go. So for y'all, it'll be a couple seconds because it'll be a sped up video, but for me it's gonna be 1,000 hours. I can already tell that that bit is getting dull. Hey, look at there. Man, that's not fun. So I did 22 on one bit, and it is already pretty trashed. I don't know how this piece comes off because it doesn't feel like there's a lip. Well, there is a little something here, but all the way across here doesn't feel like there's anything that it's welded to. Yeah, it stops here. So you can't even see what I'm talking about. There you go. So the little lip, this stops just about here. I actually just passed this hole. So So now how does it attach? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just keep it going around? That's so stupid. Makes it so much harder on idiots like me I don't know what they're doing. Fixed it. Yeah, so it just folded under is what it did. So, oh look, I didn't hit that. That's cool. So I'll just take the flap disc and grind that back. So now, I just need to clean this up, get the rest of that extra metal from the spot welds away. Clean this up. Not sure the best way to do it. I guess let me just get the flap disc. That'd be the easiest way. Not sure how I'm gonna get this big section off right here. I guess maybe doing that was working. She is bad though. I don't know if I should leave that on there. Probably not, because I'm gonna have to come in and weld a new strip. I've actually got to rebuild this whole piece. So I've got to weld new in anyway. I don't want to leave that on this side because then when the windshield goes in it might be too thick. So I looked at getting a new whole section of this. It's like 300 bucks. I don't need the whole section. I just need this top half. So I should be able to at least make somewhat of a template and just weld in new metal. I would have liked to have cut this section out from the junkyard and just popped it in real quick, but that did not work out. So I've got to make a decision on this. I didn't think this side was as bad because it had the window channel still on there. After taking that off, it is pretty shot through there. So there's no way that I can make a good enough patch for that. So I'm gonna have to look around and see if they make just this section here. If I have to, I'll buy the whole thing. I really don't want to, but if it comes down to that, I will. Mainly because I want to have this right, because that's where the nose attaches to, and that's the channel for the windshield. I don't want to do that incorrectly and then the windshield not fit, or the nose not line up or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, so I would rather do way more than I need to than to do it incorrectly and screw it up. These, I think I can clean those up. That's what the dash attaches to. It's not too bad. I could probably cut below here because, yeah, basically everything down below is pretty solid. So I'll take about 2 inches off the top, probably use this as a guide from the new section and do it that way. I can grind this back enough to where I'll be able to weld to those. I was gonna try to just fill in these holes, but there's so much rust behind it, I doubt that it would actually take. So I think that is the plan for now. I will have to probably drop 300 bucks on that whole section here just for 2 inches of it. So that stinks. But I can start on the bottom now. I'm probably gonna go have lunch real quick and then come back and work on this and see how that goes. Ah, look at that. It's all in one piece. So, I found this. Looks like the shell, or rather the front nose cone, when you wrap it around, it just kind of loops in the bottom there. So that's good to know. Wasn't quite sure about the bottom on the other side, so I think I had already cut it away over there, so I didn't end up, I didn't have to go as deep. So I've got a spot weld there, and I still don't know how this nose section, oh, that's blurry. I don't know how this nose section here wraps around and connects. Looks like just welds in there. Yep. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I did a much better job on this side than the other side. That poor thing. I did a nice... Hello, grinder. I did a pretty bad job of cutting the other side. So I need to put the cutting disc on, cut these spot welds here, and just all along the bottom. And then I can get that piece out. Then we will work on the front bottom. So I think my plan of attack for this front is going to be just slice it here and along the top, and then I can come through and pop away those this little tab that will be left over. I think this is just a front piece, and then behind here I think it's a whole nother section that goes behind there. I think I remember seeing that on one of the parts websites. So I will probably have to order that as well. That kind of sucks. I thought that I was going to get away with just ordering the nose cone. I ordered the nose cone and the front floor, and then the outer valance here, but I guess I need the inner, and then I need the top part for the dash area. So let me cut this away. Yep, so it's what I was thinking. So there's a outer valance and then a inner valance. So I need to order the inner as well. This one is shop. So hopefully that inner isn't very expensive. I don't think it was, but I can't quite remember. So all I've got to do is pop this little bit of a lip here away from the seam back there. Same for this little bit of side stuff here. Clean that up. I will probably cut a section here for this frame rail, just to give myself something to weld to better while I've got this out and I can access it better. But yeah, I definitely need that whole back piece. So look at that. That is some flaky rust. Looks like there's two holes back here. That's probably what killed it. Water getting in there. And it looks like they were drilled holes. I'm not sure what that's for. So yeah, let's finish cutting this crap out and then go from there. Look, this came with a hidden compartment for your rust. That poor thing right there. Yeah, that's horrible. But I mean, I see why it rusted out. You've got a hole there for whatever that is. Probably wiring. You've got a hole there, hole there. Water gets in, rusts it out. I mean, unless they put drain holes, but even if they did, mud splashing up in there clogs that up, and then you rust it out. So yeah, I don't know. That doesn't seem like a very good design, but what do I know? Yep, so finish cutting that off, come back. That's a frame section there. So I'll have to take my time a little bit more on cutting this out. I can just slice it right here and then worry about getting that. Probably what I'll do is when I have that off, as well as all the other frame sections, I'll just spray rust inhibitor and all that stuff in the holes while I have it open. Just because. Hey, your battery died. So while you were charging, I got a little bit done. And I realized something. I took all that time to cut that front valance off of that lip. And it turns out that that lip is part of the inner valance. So the inner valance had a shelf, went up, and then bent over and made that lip. So I don't know how in the heck I'm going to get this away from the bottom part of that inner valance. I was trying to take the grinder and grind the edge off and see if I could peel it, but it seems like it is spot welded, and I have no idea where the spot welds are. Possibly one there. It's a little rusted away over here, so that helps out. I've got to pop these spot welds right here to get that little bit of a lip there off, and then I can possibly get that away. I'm gonna assume there's spot welds through here. Yeah, the amount of layers and how these are made are just so crazy. Started getting this stuff off of the frame rail. I'm gonna have to put a section here, that way I'll have something to weld to, and then I've got to get the rest of these plates off. I am almost out of time for today. I'm gonna try to knock out as much as I can. Gotta go pick up my son from school in a little bit, so let's get to work. So I think by doing that, I should be able to just pop the spot welds by making the metal really thin through there. It's the only idea that I know of on how to remove it without destroying this top lip. Yeah, that works pretty good. Takes a long time. Probably a harder way of doing it. I just don't know the right way. There's a right way, there's a wrong way, and then there's the way that I do this stuff. So works for me. Alright, so y'all get the idea. I'm gonna knock this out and then I'll bring you back. Well, the garage was clean before I came in here today. So I got that section off. Ended up getting out the air chisel. It made pretty quick work of it. I'm probably just gonna slice it right here. This is damaged. It's still got a lot on the side, so I'm not gonna worry about that. I've still got to do a lot over there. Still got to get this a little bit of a lip away from the top part there without destroying it. Did kind of decent over here. It's a little bit of a hole that got cut, but for the most part I can flatten this out and get it back good again when I go to weld the new inner valance to that. I will have to patch this first before I can do anything else, but the whole underside is shot too, so I don't know what I want to do. I wanted this to be a quick get it on the road, fix it as you go kind of project, but it is quickly turning into a completely tear it apart before I can do anything. I don't want to just slap it together just because I want to do it correctly, at least to my ability. But yeah, it's going pretty good. I will probably have to cut the video short today. It's been kind of repetitive, all the same thing, grinding, cutting, more cutting, making a huge mess. Not very fun stuff to watch. Once I start doing the bigger stuff like the nose and putting it back together, I think it'll be a little more interesting to watch. I think we're up to 45 subscribers, I believe. Oh, look at that. I think that was a Black Widow. Yeah, up to 45 subscribers, I think, which is crazy to me that there's 45 people out there that would want to watch me screw this stuff up. But hey, I'll take it. So I think I'm going to call it here. I might do a little bit more. I don't know. I don't have much time. I've got maybe 30 minutes before I have to leave. So I will probably just knock a little bit of this out without recording, mainly because it's just so repetitive. Couldn't be fun to watch. So it was a pretty good day. Got a lot done. Doors off. Got the rest of the front nose off. Prepped this a little bit more to get ready to fix. Haven't quite decided how yet. Most likely buying the $300 piece to replace it, only needing 2 inches. But yep, overall pretty good day. As always, thank you all for hanging out, watching me destroy stuff that hopefully I can put back together. Alright guys, I will see you on the next one.